Cooper Flagg has officially entered the NBA draft. Welcome back to Talking Ball. It's Jack. And look, we've been waiting on this news for a little bit. He took it pretty close to the deadline of April 26th to enter the draft. And congratulations to Cooper Flagg, the number one pick of the 2025 draft. You know, we got to wait to see who wins the lottery. There are some teams that I hope for his sake do so. There are some teams for his sake that I hope don't. But we'll have to find out who that ends up being later on. If I were to name a couple of teams that I would hope would win, probably be the Spurs would be up there, or if realistically though, I think the Wizards would be a really good fit for him with what they're building in Washington. You know, I wouldn't want to see him go to Charlotte or New Orleans. Just based off of how those franchises are being run. And selfishly, as also a Knicks fan, I really don't want to see him in Philadelphia. With Jared McCain, it really makes things difficult. But with that being said, phenomenal Duke player, the best one and done Duke player that there's been. He's going to have an awesome, just awesome NBA career. And whatever team drafts him, will be very lucky and fortunate to have a guy like Cooper Flagg. Now for Duke, I do think this gives us a little bit of clarity as we move a little bit further. We're close to the transfer portal closing on April 22nd, so we'll have a good idea at least of who's staying at that point for the Blue Devils. And I do think this raises the question of who's coming in via the transfer portal, because with the recent news over the last few days, with Shelton Henderson decommitting and Nate Ament deciding to go to Tennessee, could be completely unrelated. But my guess is there's a transfer coming in who's somewhere in that 6'6" to 6'8" range, who's going to play significant minutes in that forward or wing spot. And throw a couple names out there from what I've been hearing. Don't know. But based off of last year, I think these guys make sense. So first is going to be Andre Stojakovic. Somewhat similar to Malik Brown in that Duke saw him, with Cal, but different in that when they played Stojakovic, he didn't necessarily have the game that Malik Brown had against Duke. But he is 6'7", a good shooter. Can do a versatile player for sure. And then a guy who's been getting some rumblings as of late is Cedric Coward, who's a potential 6'6", 205-pound transfer from Washington State. Intriguing guy. I haven't watched a ton of him. He would be more in like the Sion James kind of off the beaten trail, but he's getting a ton of interest from Power 5 programs, top-notch programs. I know Alabama, among other schools, are also interested in him. But I think that style of player is what I'm waiting to see, what I expect to see, honestly, at this point for Duke to bring in an upperclassman who is going to play a major role for Duke from the transfer portal. I just think they need somebody like that to help replace the losses from not just Cooper Flagg, but also Con Knipple. I think they can replace some of Proctor with Cooper Flagg, and they can replace some of Sion James with Caden Boozer. Oh, sorry, with Caleb Foster. I don't know. I think I said Cooper Flagg there. I apologize, guys. But what I'm getting at is I think they have some replacements. I still think they need some more veterans. They're going to need a guy like a Mason Gillis. Doesn't necessarily have to be at that small forward, power forward position. Could be another big. But they need some more veteran presence on this team for next year. So I'm curious how the rest of the portal will work itself out. But on Cooper Flagg, gonna miss watching Cooper. Just a joy to watch on a game-to-game basis. The guy was really good, and then he turned 18, and then he became the best player in college basketball. And just gonna miss watching him. The joy he played with, the passion he played with, and the complete game that Cooper Flagg has that he'll bring with him to the NBA. His ability to impact the game with not just his offensive ability, his scoring ability, his rebounding, his passing, his defense, just a true complete player. And I think that term is used too often, but for Cooper Flagg, it is certainly apropos, and just wishing him all the success at the next level. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below. Until next time, peace.